Josh, baby, how's it hanging?
Hey, Mike, what's up?
I've got some really bad news for you, man. You're gonna have to do it in the studio this year.
Yeah, but man, nobody watches those things.
Them's the breaks. Sorry.
I had to think fast. So I did. I decided to enlist the help of my old partner, Con. We worked on a show last year, and it was fantastic. I walked for many days and many places. A weary traveler on a mission. There I was, a young wolf pup, howling at the moon. To reignite the show that brought joy to so many, I faced insurmountable obstacles. But finally, I found him.
When I was small, we had nothing at all. We used to eat grits for dinner. It was pain, almost drive a man insane.
What are you doing?
How'd you get in here?
The door was unlocked.
What's the hummus?
Connor and I began to discuss ideas, make plans over a hummus and some beer. This was not a good idea.
Is the camera on? Is the camera on? Ah,
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa. It's on now. Tonight has been nothing less, nothing short of a success. Well, a lot of great ideas. Last year was fun.
Yeah, this is for them though.
But
Not about us anymore.
this year's for the people.
Absolutely.
Of course, we've been drinking,
A little bit.
but we were at those bars.
Those bars.
And now we're going from those bars, but now we're going to the downtown bar. I'm gonna go ahead and consider this night a success.
Success because of the ideas.
Because we've already had
and
so
now the
many
drinks,
ideas.
the drinks are for ideas now. Different.
So I say,
Let's go
what
get
are we
some-
waiting for?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Thanks.
All right.
See you later. Kid.
Little did we know that those downtown bars would change our lives forever. We happened upon young Jeremy, a jazz musician playing in public. We were impressed. In public. Maybe a little too impressed. After showing our support, we decided to move on to the bars. But then, an idea struck. Eventually. We convinced Jeremy with promises of women, fame, and a small monthly stipend. Con was ecstatic beyond belief and welcomed Jeremy as one of his own. We decided to take him back to the studio, formerly known as Con's house, to prepare for our first episode. Jeremy was weary. But with the rising of the Wednesday sun, we were ready for episode 1.
Welcome to the first episode of Not a Sports Show in studio. I'm Josh Lampley. Don't think we heard you over there, Con.
I think there's actually a very easy solution to that. I think we could either share the desk in my own house, or we could put me further away from Jeremy.
Speaking of band, can we go ahead and get a round of applause for our fantastic house band, Jeremy.
And we're happy to have you, you jazz cat.
Well, let's begin this episode by introducing a new segment we like to call Fortnightly News. Not to be confused with the Fortnightly News, but as in a fortnight, which is, 2 weeks. So that's when we schedule our shoots.
Yeah, we get it, Josh. It's pretty clever.
All right. Donald Trump recently put his 1997 Lamborghini Diablo up for sale for the bargain price of $300,000. In other news, Rand Paul will also be selling some of his old clothes that don't fit like they used to. Legendary actress Helen Mirren has announced that she'll no longer be appearing naked in films, saying, "At age 70, that chapter of my life is over." In what he calls an unrelated incident, Connor Thompson gave all of his Fandango gift cards to charity. The dating app Tinder is suing the AIDS Healthcare Foundation for posting billboards claiming that the use of the service could lead to chlamydia. The billboards failed to warn users about 18-year-old Sarah, who recently found me on Facebook and proceeded to like my last 50 posts. Republicans in Congress have begun a push to defund Planned Parenthood, the nonprofit organization for contraceptive care. This, of course, means an end to the sex life of UT senior Dylan, who can't stand the shame of asking the lady at Kroger to unlock the condom case. Rapper Nicki Minaj is set to produce and star in a racy new TV series based on her life and career. Due to Helen Mirren's recent announcement, however, the part of Nicki's saucy best friend who plays by her own rules is up for grabs. Comedian Nicole Arbour was criticized in the media after she released a video that denies the existence of fat shaming and compared obesity as a disease to being a shopaholic, which makes a lot of sense because Arbour was obviously too busy shopping for shoes to try walking in anyone else's, even if they are Crocs. Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri has released audio messages in which he calls ISIS inferior, or as my grandmother from Fairview, Tennessee calls it, the pot calling the kettle an inferior terrorist. In a classic move, al-Zawahiri offered an olive branch of peace to ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi so that they can come together, discuss their differences, paint toenails, bomb America, and watch Orange is the New Black on Netflix. Tennis fan Jesus Aparicio woke up from an 11-year coma and was thrilled to find out that his favorite player, Roger Federer, was in the final of the US Open. What does it feel like being in a coma for 11 years? Try watching a tennis match. Pope Francis visited the US last week and was welcomed by President Obama and his family. It was Francis's first ever visit to America, and in an effort to separate church and state, jerseys were made. This has been the Fortnightly News.
Thanks, Josh. I'll be the first to admit that I'm fascinated with people who live on the fringes of society. Whether it be ayahuasca shamans, attendees of Black Biker Week, or grown adults who have 2 or more tattoos from a young adult book series, I'm interested in how these people live outside of the norm. So I've decided to try and reach out to a local fringe group, which is the people from the greater Knoxville area who posted on the casual encounter section of Craigslist somewhere between September 19th and September 26th. Whew. Title: Did we piss together at Pilot on Boyd's Creek Road, man for man, Sevierville, Tennessee. I know this is a long shot, but at 5 p.m. today, I saw a really good-looking guy come in the store at Boyd's Creek Road and go take a piss. I followed, and it looked like you kept pulling your hand so I could see your d***. And by the way, very nice d***. I was in the store with my kids getting drinks. When you got done pissing, you just kept sacking your d***. It looked like it was getting a little hard. I noticed you also had a wedding ring on, so I am sure you were married. I am too, but if you're ever looking for a buddy, let me know. It'll be our little secret. You had on a name tag and dress clothes. I saw your name, and if you're interested, and if you see this, hit me up with your first name. It starts with a D. My response: Dear Pilot Guy, I'm not 100% sure this is me, but I did go to the pilot that you were talking about recently, and my name is Dennis. Also, I'm not sure if I was the guy you were checking out, but I did see 3 unattended young children causing a major scene while I was waiting to buy my water and lottery tickets. They were eating all types of candy, bursting open large bags of chips on the floor, and weirdly enough, they kept screaming in unison, "We can do what we want when Daddy's in the bathroom." It was a nightmare to watch, and I'm sure even more of a nightmare to clean up for the attendants. So this Dennis thinks that maybe next time you attempt to spend more than a regular amount of time in the pilot bathroom, either bring the wife or leave the kids at home. Sincerely, disappointed Dennis. Pretty interesting stuff, right, Josh?
Cool.
Whew. Next one. Title, I need your wife's panties, please. Man for man, North Knoxville. I have this urge to smell and off to another man's wife's panties. I can meet in Fountain City within the next hour. I would like some silky ones if you have them. I don't care about race or age. I would prefer ones that have been worn, but beggars are not choosers. I would gladly give you a pair of my wife's dirty or clean ones if you want to trade. I will also show nude shots of her on my phone when we meet. Please help make this happen. My response, to whom it may concern, I'd be more than happy to meet and exchange my girlfriend's underwear with you. However, I'd like to cover the bases really quick so that we don't look foolish while standing in the park with women's underwear in our hands. Hopefully within the next hour, I might add. First, what size is your wife? You see, I've been wanting to get my girlfriend a gift recently, and I'm pretty sure that if I take one of her old pairs and trade it, she won't even notice. 2, do you happen to have a dog collar you want to trade as well? Our dog Ellie could really use a new one, and I would love to trade that one out with you, and if I need to tell you that me and my girlfriend have done weird stuff with it to get the trade, I'd be more than happy to. Hope to see you in the park, and just to make things easier, we can use my favorite hot dog stand in the park as a meeting ground. It is run by a Hispanic man named Saul that sells delicious hot dogs, and who knows, maybe we can involve him in a panty dog collar trade and get some lunch out of it. Best regards, your friend, Con. And this is the last one. Title, Gorgeous Cracker Barrel Manager, Alcoa, Man for Man. We met Thursday afternoon after I ate there. I was very complimentary of the management and staff. We spoke in an unusual place. Tell me where we spoke and what we spoke of. I'd like to spend some time with you. My response, I've got to say that I am very excited reading this right now, as well as a little nervous. You see, over the years of managing a very prominent Cracker Barrel, I've had quite a bit of odd conversations in unusual places. So I'm really hoping that you were one of the ones I'm thinking of. So please tell me that you were the guy that came up to me after your meal and told me how much you liked everything while you were pulling out a pack of cigarettes. You then motioned for me to have one, and I joined you outside. While we were smoking, we walked over to a hill and watched the beautiful sunset over the pond. You then made that joke about 3 elephants falling, and I laughed so hard. This was such a relief. After managing a Cracker Barrel for 12 years, I thought I would have heard them all by now. We then snuck on to the church bus and realized that it was for a senior citizen choir tour. After rummaging through their personal belongings, we found out they had just left Detroit, and we laughed about the new 9-foot satanic statue of Bahamut that was just presented there. We then made tentative plans to go and see it, and you made a joke about stopping at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on the way. You might have been joking, but I was serious about stopping there. Anyway, I meant to grab your email to exchange further plans, but as we both know, one of the spry old women saw us and we had to bolt. Thanks again for being so complimentary about this management, the jokes, and I hope to hear from you soon. Your new friend, Con. And what's this? It sounds like, oh, we're getting breaking news right now that this man actually made it and we have live footage of him doing that. Let's cut to that footage now.
I'm just excited to see my Lord and Savior Baphomet represented in such glorious Italian stone. I do hope his eyes gaze upon me and that my allegiance is recognized. I don't know. Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Here at Not a Sports Show, we are in fact very serious about a few things. One of them being not discussing sports. However, throughout the years of my life, I've always found myself liking things, otherwise known as being a fan. So we would like to introduce our new segment that we like to call Chase and Tail. Gate.
If I was to learn about being a sports fan, I knew I would have to fool the football fanatics by dressing as one of their own. But as I asked more questions, a few similar topics continued to reoccur in conversation.
That's a tall boy of the Bud Husky right there. That's the Husky.
Bud Light.
I've been getting a lot of Bud Lights. Is no one like Miller around here?
Hell no, it tastes like corn chips. Bud Light and Fireball.
Bud Light and Fireball mixed together. Everyone else here seems to be Bud Light.
Moonshine too. Moonshine's good.
They seemed to be fueled by alcohol, and it inspired some very articulate words of wisdom.
Naturally, Vols are winning that game. I mean, I don't have anything else to say about that. I mean,
okay, guys. The important thing is getting the Vols are winning the game. No doubt about it. But we gotta get some pressure on the quarterback. Rattle him a little bit.
Need a pass
redshirt freshman. I might be incorrect on that, but that's what I've heard.
Well, I think we're going to play football today, and I think we're going to play SEC versus Oklahoma.
I realized quickly that all these people wanted to talk about was football. As we all know, we do not discuss sports on this show.
Say 35-28. I think it's look impressive today, and they're going to show up. They're going to look better than they did last week.
That's what's happening with Butch Jones. I think mostly.
It's almost as if they could see through my disguise, as one man began to lie blatantly to my face.
a question. What's your favorite pre-game drink?
Water. You gotta hydrate.
That doesn't look like water.
I know now, if I want to learn what it's like to be a tailgate fanatic, my approach will have to be different. Next week, I'll try and tackle this problem from a different angle, no pun intended. But until then, I have this advice to try and comprehend.
We're talking about beer pong, we're talking about chandelier, we're talking about everything, dude.
We're talking about everything.
We're talking about grilled cheeses. We're talking
Grilled
about boys
cheese.
being boys.
Grilled cheese and hot
We're
dogs.
talking about grilled cheese and boys now. That's
I still have a lot of work to do.
how the conversation got to
hairy
there.
nipples and cheese.
Just dudes
And
being
hot dogs.
dudes being
All right.
dudes.
Dudes being dudes.
Dudes being dudes.
As fans of last year's show know, there were a couple sketches that were not quite liked by most people.
What does acid feel like?
Are you laughing at this? Is it like weird enough to, or is it kind of strange, or okay?
I swear to God, if you don't fucking cut that camera, you'll never work in TV again.
And by most people, I mean everybody.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the blame on these.
Yeah, Con would come up with a couple of these ideas and would always end the pitch with,
Let me just try this.
so this year, we just decided to give him the last segment to try whatever he wants. That way you can simply turn off the show when we get to it.
The segment, which is properly titled, Let Me Just Try This. This is a song that means a lot to me by the very talented Brad Meldau and Mark Alina, titled Taming the Dragon. Enjoy.
I had this trippy dream where this cat was driving me around in an old convertible the whole time around LA. Later on, it turned into a VW van, and near the end, it was more like this spaceship kind of thing. We were high up looking over the road. But the front console was shaped like a van, and it still had the convertible top. The guy who was driving me around was an older dude, an old hipster with a scratchy voice, kind of like Joe Walsh sings. But he kind of had some of that vibe and energy of Dennis Hopper and Easy Rider. Yeah, like if you can imagine a cross between Joe Walsh and Dennis Hopper. That's the dude who was driving me. We were heading due north on the PCH, coming up to the big stoplight where Sunset Boulevard ends. We were gonna head out past there towards Malibu, maybe circle up through Topanga Canyon, and come back through the valley. The light was beautiful in the dream with all that nice washed out orange from the pollution. So I had this happy feeling in my stomach, but also like this scared feeling, like something was gonna happen, but I didn't know what. Anyhow, as we were approaching the light at sunset, all of a sudden this cat in a sports car came out of nowhere and just cut us off. My man slammed on the brakes and narrowly averted a mashup. Got my blood boiling, but, you know, I wasn't the one driving. Yeah, so when you know it, we pulled right up behind that motherfucker at the light, and there he was, glaring at us through his rearview mirror, and he was all like, yeah, that's right, I cut you off. What are you gonna do about it? So I said to Joe Walsh / Dennis Hopper, I'll just call him Joe now. So I said to Joe, man, aren't you gonna say some shit to that douchebag? I was all puffed up and pissed off, but I was sitting in the passenger seat. So Joe was quiet and looked straight ahead and said, you know, man, the only way I'm gonna put some shit out there like that is if I'm ready to dance with that cat. You know what I mean? All you've got are your actions, man. And don't forget, your words are actions too. You put something out there, there's consequences, you know? You wanna dance with that dude? You know, now I realize that Joe was driving me around everywhere and it's like I wasn't even thanking him. I realized that at first I thought he was kind of like wild and a bad influence on me. Like from my party days. But actually the whole time he was kind of like driving me around and taking care of me. Watching my back. Like with that crazy dude in the small car. Like how he actually handled the whole thing real noble and didn't get all ruffled. He was talking me down from something. I only realized that when I woke up. It's funny how sometimes with dreams you don't realize who's your friend until after you wake up. Then you wake up and you get this clarity and you see that maybe all those different people were you in the dream and that they're there to lead you either to good or trouble. And the person who's actually acting as you in the dream is kind of like this blind idiot who's just barreling through the whole dream like I was, trying to be all tough and shit. Telling old Joe to go start something with that punk in the sports car. Yeah, but maybe like that crazy dude in the other car was me as well. All those people are just a composite of my own shit. All different parts of me. Like you've got this one part of you that watches out for you and keeps you steady. You've got this other part that's raging and full of anger. And those two are vying for your attention, like old Joe and that crazy dude in the dream. And there's just you and you're listening to both of these voices. But they're all a part of you. You know, I think of it like taming a dragon. The dragon is a crazy dude. And if you don't watch out, he'll bite your ass hard. So you need old Joe there to set you straight. But Joe knows about the dragon. Because Joe and the dragon are both a part of you. So you don't try to kill the dragon. You know, the dragon's where you get all that voodoo shit from. That's where you get your power from. You don't want to snuff him out. You want to tame him. You want to actually make friends with him and harness his power so you can use it.
Well, what did I tell you? Thanks for watching.
There we go.
Awesome.
I'm on my data mash. I'm mashing data. Shout out to David O'Reilly. I got a max beat behind me. I'm doing me, making gifts. On the web, writer rips. It's cool cause it's nerdy. Yeah. Data motion cool, data motion great. Justin Bieber, I'm moving with my face. Then use it for an art show, use it for a piece. Project it on an apple, project it on a peach. Find me on the internet, I'm making gifts. I don't give a fuck though, I don't give a I move the bitch with my hands, make her back it up now. I'm a gangsta, bitch, I'm tatted up now. Swags 480p, 720p. I'm in the club like spending 20 G's. Sipping on my cup with a pretty hoe, bitch. You thought it was an accident, a video glitch, but I did it on purpose though. It's nothing, you don't have bad internet. I'm just data moshing. Swag, I'm on my web you heard me. It's cool cause it's nerdy. I'm on my data mosh, glitching up these videos. On my data mosh, niggas don't know. I'm moshing it, I'm making